screens. This is going to be a very interesting demonstration, and I'll tell you why. Because when we get near the end of testing for one of our products, we don't really tell a lot about. Sometimes we pop the lid, we'll show you the color of it. This time around, we didn't show you the color of the Gamer. The Gamer has a very interesting color to it. So, give me a minute. I gotta check on something real quick, see if Francis is popping up. Francis out here? No. Francis? Sure. All right, so sometimes we'll show the color of a technology when we're working on it, and sometimes we don't. With the Black Series, the reason why is because we like to catch people doing dumb stuff. And with the product called the Black Series, I'm pretty sure that people who do not test or know nothing about it before. All right, hopefully that doesn't keep doing it today. All right, so as I said before, blacks are a little different. It's a little interesting how we design these. All right, so I'm gonna come over here, and I'm pretty sure the chatter has been great because all the test demonstrations we've been doing on this product, when we bring out products that have like an insane amount of tests attached to them, and they're doing things that other people at the end of the day may have to work even products, there is going to be chat on it. So for some reason they just can't seem to keep our products out of their mouths. So we're going to basically debunk some theories here on our products. Now, like I said, this product is not even fully done yet, but I'm curious to see who's been running their mouth about the product and basically how embarrassing it's going to be for them. Now, usually we have an individual that will pop up and say, hey, look, this is how the Black Series is made. This is how this is blah, 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 thinking he's got everything figured out. Keep in mind, this is an individual who doesn't even know his own product at the end of the day. And again, doesn't know his product well enough to know that his product matched house paint. But I want to just get an idea here. So let me see. Oh, nothing came up under the slip shirt, we know that. Let's go with the our technology under IV-VIII. Let's see. Because I'm pretty sure some people are just having a heart attack over this product. But let's see. What things up under for our technology? So that's us right there. That's the technology right there, there, and there. It's all us right there. Let me see. Now, we've been through this before. We had a Phantom. Phantoms have strange colors. Every time we do gamers always have weird colors attached to them. And literally somebody thought, the individual thought that the gamers were black, but they're not black. They're black, but they're a strange color. And again, claimed to have something that he didn't even have to begin with. But let's see. So far, I'm not picking up any chatter here. All right, let me see. Nope, nothing here. All right, let's see if we can pick up anything under Black Series Gamer. Let's go with, let me see. Oh, did you put the fusion in there? Oh, Fusion. 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 Well, you definitely got to. Now let's try it again. All right, so what I'm looking for someone that may be running their mouths too much, because again, we have people who do this and again don't know our technology and what it's all about. Nothing at all whatsoever. So let me see. Well, chat is quiet. Okay, well, nothing at all. Usually we get somebody running their mouths about something. And I'm not going to go looking for them at the end of the day. Like I said, it's not worth our time. After seeing the experience that I see people having screen paint today, it's not worth our time to even bother going to a channel that knows nothing about product. All right, so this right here is everyday black paint. And this right here is a Fusion Gamer. And people think they look exactly the same, but they're not. They're actually completely different in a big way. Now I'll show you. All right, so over here, this one right here has heightener technology, which allows it to be able to read white light better. And this one is just everyday black paint at the end of the day. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go downstairs, and because we usually, like I said, we don't show off what the product looks like, or we did pop the top. Oh, we did pop the top on this one. The reason why is because we had individuals come in one time, and they thought the product was the same black paint you get at Home Depot and Lowe's. No, they were sadly mistaken, and that video got disappeared quick because they embarrassed themselves, and it's a shame. But again, you don't know our technology. As a matter of fact, as I said before, at all, period. You have to be able to pass those tests, which are extremely important. Now, the reason why those tests are important is because you have to be able to show the difference between your product and black paint. Now, as you've seen side by side, this is everyday black paint. This is our technology in the container right here. We have a surface that's already painted with the technology there. And the phantom demonstration I drew on the screen in black paint. We're the same thing on this one. This technology, as dark as it is, looks just like black paint, but it doesn't match black paint because it has something special in it called the heightener, which allows the screen to accept white light. So, that screen producing a white level, screen behind it showing us the same match. We're going to take our black paint here, and we're going to draw on that screen right there because I'm not damaging my big one behind it. So, let's get some paint there. A little finger painting. Circle there. And there, and nothing there. And that's putting a wavy area there. There. There we go. Just got some paint right there. Now, these are demonstrations that people should be doing on their products to show that their products do not match gray paint at the end of the day. These are the demonstrations that, as I said before, that people make gray screen paint or any kind of products cannot seem to back their products up. When we tell you that our technology doesn't match black at the end of the day or any form of black surface, we can back that up 100%. So just like the Phantom demonstration, I drew right into my screen. Let me get something where I can draw a little better. Any paintbrushes over there? I have one paintbrush or something. I guess this will have to do. This is the reason why, like I said before, that you got people out there advertising screens that match house paint. Should not be doing that. Matter of fact, that product shouldn't even be on a website at the end of the day. You got products that can't even beat the slip silver at the end of the day. That's another product that we suggested that we use in our demonstrations all the time. And as I said before, I can draw into my screen with black paint and it won't even match your screen. And I've never seen a demonstration of someone taking the Network Gray 773 and painting that into a screen to see the difference. But then again, what I've already seen already from demonstrations from certified and even from untested mixes, I've seen screens blend right into each other, but yet claim that there's a difference. Draw a nice little circle piece right there. And I want to do a little sunshine. There's the sun, there's the sun, there's the golden sun. Please come out and play. Chase all the sun away. Little paint right there. Got a little sun going on right there, a little circle right there. Let's put a stick figure right here. Stick figure right here. Come on this side. I'll write my name. Right. There we go. Let's see. Handprints right there. There we go. That's what you have to do to back your product 100%. I can go into any business meeting with a bunch of investors and take my hand and smear it right down the side of my screen with black paint. I can do our pour out side by side and they would both look black. Do you have any idea how many investors that would pull in alone right there? That is the most amazing sales pitch that you can pull on a black screen. To literally show a white level and then take your hand and smear right across it with black paint. These are the kind of demonstrations we'll be doing in the showroom and I do on camera all the time. You have to be able to back your product up. That's why I said that the test demonstrations I'm seeing in certified screens, what I'm seeing in these mixes today is poor demonstrations, very poor. This is why the only options that they have, like I said, they can't buy us out because, again, I'm not for sale and they can't beat the technology. And as for the mixes, at the end of the day, the only thing they could try to do is try to make our products look bad, but they can't pass a basic test demonstration as in slip silver and as in the Network Gray 773. That's a basic test, easy test. When we go against a white screen, it's a basic test for us. So if they can't pass that test, then there's a problem there. And if one of the screen paints happen to match the product, that's even worse at the end of the day. So you know what the Cinemax is. The Cinemax is literally network grade 773 because, again, identical match. So they can be angry about it, upset about it, but it is what it is. You can't get upset about something that happened, you know? Now, I love it when we get individuals sit there and say, well, that product is Dynasty Black. Do you know how many versions of Dynasty Black I have here in my shop? As a matter of fact, I have several sheets of it over there painted up. Been there, done it already. Everything, chalk paint, done it already. Dip paint, done it already. We've done it already. That's why we do these tests. But if I name a number of great products, I guarantee you none of them will be done today. As a matter of fact, keep in mind the individual, we asked them to do the test on the slip silver 4 times in a row. He even sent links directly to him where he can actually do the demonstrations, and he refuses to do them. I already told you the theory why he's not going to do it. He's never going to do it. And if he does, well, pretty much he might have to shut down his website and move on because it's not going to go well. If you saw the demonstration with the network grade 773, the problem there is he matched the screen perfectly. And keep in mind, people, he matched the screen so well, he tried to hide it. And got caught trying to hide it in the process. Now, I'm not trying to dig up old wounds, but it is what it is, people. If he goes onto a website and he's selling that product, that is network grade 773. He's trying to get all this money, trying to get some money for it. Not all money, but some money for it. I don't know how in the world, at the end of the day, that people like that accuse other people of other things, and yet the very product that they sell on their website, there's a video of it matching a house paint so badly that the video was removed by the user, but yet tries to act like it never even happened. And what about the rest of the products? How come the rest of the products weren't tested with network grade 773? Just don't acknowledge it didn't happen. It doesn't exist. And now with the slip silver, even more dangerous due to the fact that, again, another product that doesn't require to be mixed with black paint or whatever can be taken not off the shelf, but you can order right from Amazon at large quantities for a very cheap price. Actually, it's more cheaper than the network grade 773. Now, our sales for the 2.0 have increased because, again, the longer it takes for these individuals to do these tests, the more people are going to pour out and buy these products. And then when they see the comparison of a 2.0 versus the slip silver and how we dominated that surface, they're going to go buy our product. The whole object when you get a projection screen set up is not to downgrade, it's to upgrade. So, gentlemen, where are your tests? You don't have any tests. This is not even a test. This is for fun. Me sitting in front of a camera where something says mark test, where I'm sitting there doing demonstrations on ultra short throws with lights on, lights off, our ultra short throw demonstrations we just did a few minutes ago. If you watched it, that demonstration alone has knocked out all your demonstrations on ultra short throws because we can do it in a fully lit environment, not only against a certified screen, but against a white screen, a silver screen, and the network grade 773, and beat the screen at the same time. All of them. White levels, contrast levels, and color patterns. Lights on, lights off. Your demonstrations, dark environment, high-end projector, and you don't show any comparisons. And if you do try to show a comparison, you try to keep it in the dark. Your screen, Cinemax, does not produce a contrast level as you claim. Demonstration with the Epson 955 projector, I think it was the WH or W model. In that demonstration, the bow constrictor, that background is supposed to be jet black. That wasn't matching any of your speakers in the environment. It clearly showed that your screen was not pulling a black level, but a gray level. A black screen will pull a black level regardless. It's going to be black. But over here, we're drawing on the screen and having some fun. So this is one of the tests and demonstrations we'd like to do. And the reason why I point that out is because, like I said, all the testing we've been doing on these screens, yet we don't see any testing at all on these products. So you are buying untested, unguaranteed products. As for the certified screens, well, we know they're tested, but man, I'm curious to see what are in their tests. That's what I'm curious about. How brutal are the tests? Apparently seeing all those screens match each other. And then at some point, some screens had problems with angle gain. And then they were all done in dark environments. And the fact that when he turned out the lights, it was still, even when it was in a dark, it still wasn't a well-lit environment. Oh well, that's not my problem. But I always point that out because, again, let me put a happy face here on my character because he needs to be with a smile. There we go. But like I said, at the end, I know they get upset over this, but they should because, again, they need to test their products. Like out here, I'm drawing on my screen because our technology we tested does not match black paint in any way. Let's get another pair right here. So this shows you at the end of the day we can back our products up 100% because, again, our products are tested and retested and retested. Don't cry, don't cry. Keep it together, don't cry. We got a flower here. Let's do a flower. 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 Well, like I said, the only people who get upset when I speak about this are people at the end of the day that are not doing their tests. They're the only ones that get upset over that or bothered or upset because they're not doing their tests. And you have to do tests. Products need to be tested. And if anyone feels that, like I said, the only people who get upset over this are people that are not testing their products. That's why they feel that it's being drawn to them personally. But you need to test your products in order for the customer to be happy at the end of the day. And if you can't do demonstrations like this, like painting into your screen with black paint, then why would anyone buy your products? Because again, you could end up matching house paint. And you don't want that at the end of the day. That's the last thing you want, is somebody matching house paint. You don't want to be matching house paint, right? Got a good flower on this side. Nice one. People like to know that they got what they paid for. Now, in this demonstration, what we do is we take two screens, so actually this one's coated with the technology, and we basically paint into the screen with black paint. And what this does is it pretty much clears up the fact that people may think that they could do the same thing with our products with black paint and black fabric and stuff like that. So we have a couple of sheets of black paint over here. We have the Home Depot Dynasty over there. We have a paint called Black Magic. I don't like the name of it, but that's what it is what it is. It's the darkest version of paint that they have over at Lowe's. And then the next stage right there, after that, we like to paint into the screen to show you that even if you painted your screen with black paint, it's still not going to be the same as ours. And from that side, if I put a dot here, put some dots in there. Okay. Red screen. So that's what happens when you paint on our screen with black paint. That's how black paint looks on our products. Yellow screen. Because the problem here is that the black paint can't accept and receive white levels. Now, we're not going to show heavy comparison because we're waiting for something. I'm waiting for the idiot to pop up, any idiot to pop up and say, hey, look, this is their product right here. I made it. Oh, we got something for you. That's why there's certain things we don't show right away. We're waiting for you to do something that dumb so we can embarrass you even worse. Now, the reason why, like I said, we don't go to that person's page, and after, like I said, what I seen on last Sunday, again, clearly shows they have no idea what they're talking about. And if they get back their product, they'd have done the slip silver, but now every time we type that in, our videos only come up. Purple screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Green screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Slow color change out.
Getting that from YouTube.
What's the offer? $1.99 for $1.
Now, we can make this a challenge, but what's the point? It'll never be done. Usually when we put challenges out, challenges are basic demonstrations that we do. But no one does them because, again, they don't know how the product's going to react because they haven't tested the product. That's why. That's why challenges are never done, because they don't test the products. So what you just purchase at the end of the day, if they're not matching our test demonstrations, what you have purchased at the end of the day is maybe just house paint. But how would you know? There's no test. So you don't know what you got. Only thing you could pretty much say, and I can say this, and I don't care if the person is upset because it did happen, the Cinemax matched network grade 773. So it's clarified as house paint. And if the hybrid mix came that close to matching the Cinemax, that means that also too is going to match network grade 773. As a matter of fact, that was the last request that we put in, that the test that he needs to perform is showing the hybrid, showing the Cinemax, showing network grade 773 and the slip silver all combined. Let's see what they look like, including the IV personal or any form of light mixes he has over there. Should be doing demonstrations against house paint at the end of the day. And if these demonstrations are not being displayed, if they're being ignored, if they're being bypassed, then that's your red flag right there, telling you that you're buying house paint without an exchange policy attached to it. Even worse, you can't even exchange it. So when I say, gentlemen, where are your tests? Where are your tests? Because I've scoured the internet and I can't find anything at all. And the tests we do bring up are extremely pitiful. They are very pitiful. Do you see the paint that I have on my screen? Do you see them matching in any way? Do you see them blending in any way? No. When you got paint set that you literally have to walk over to a screen and you have to be up close to see a difference? No. And I watched the guy with the certified screen do that in a demonstration. Like, why is he sitting that close to the screen to explain this? Oh my goodness. TLC 4K demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
I just expect to see so much better. Do you have any idea how long projection screens have been around? How long projectors have been around? And you mean to tell me we're in this era and this timeline with the technology we have now, and that's all we have to offer? That's pretty bad. That's extremely bad. We're way beyond 35 millimeter films and 1.1 aspect ratio. All this technology and this is it? Really? TVs advance on every level you can possibly think of. Projectors advance on every level you can possibly think of. But the screen is still the same nonsense. I don't see anything different. If their products could do anything different, match any of our demonstrations, please. But we don't see anything. We see the same thing, Ambient light controlled environment, high powered projectors, calibrated projectors, screens blended into each other, poor contrast levels, poor color levels, in the same protocol, same instructions. You gotta be sitting this far back from the screen. You gotta have the screen in this angle. You have to have the projection screen set up so it's in line with the projector. And you have to have the lights to a certain degree so you can get the contrast and the colors to pull. Oh man, I'm telling you. At this particular point, I just want to come out with my own company and separate ourselves from the whole entire projection industry altogether. I'm not happy with it. I would rather go back to the old eras of 35 millimeter fan and 1.1 aspect ratio screens. I'd rather go back to that era. Because at least that particular era, they were keeping it real. Skyworth food demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
This is what I talk about when I see people, when they develop black products. The problem they have is they have an oversaturation of the black levels are way too high, which means the black levels are too high, white levels are going to suffer, and if white levels suffer, it means color is going to suffer. You have to have a balance. There has to be a tone within the black, but the black must be black. Okay, and the way to confuse the living daylights out of you, just put it this way. It has to be black, but it has to have a tone that balances the black. That confuses you? Yeah, well, it's confusing. Now, if your balance is off, then you're going to have a problem with your screen tilting over into the gunmetal section, which you don't want to be at because technically your screen won't be black. It'll be an extremely dark gray screen. And that's what we see also too. That's why I took both containers. If you saw one up the top, put them side by side, they're black, both side by side. Except for one actually reacts a little different when a projector hits it and the other one doesn't. Because that has a heightener in it that allows the screen to receive white light, which means it can brighten the screen. Now, for those of you who feel that the theories that I talk about on camera are completely false, feel free to match any of the demonstrations I've displayed in the last couple of days on live. And these demonstrations, keep in mind, can be anywhere from an hour, 2 hours, to 3 hours long of testing. But yet we don't see anybody trying to display it. There's a difference when you talk on camera. There's another thing when you talk on camera and do it at the same time. This is why that whole screen stacking multi-system, break it down for me. Let me see. Show me a 4-screen process and remove an application from each one with the final screen showing the results. If you remove that application from the screen, what are the results? What happens? What's the reaction? Yeah, I get nothing. And the reason why is because it's just talk. Telling me that a Cinemax can pull a contrast level equal to a black screen, but yet when I watch a demonstration with a customer's, well, I don't know if it's customer, who knows, at 15 feet back, when the bow constrictor displayed itself, that background is supposed to be black. It shouldn't be coming up gray, and it should be matching the speakers in the environment. Okie dokie. So these are things I'm seeing in demonstrations. Again, a lot of white light splash behind screens, dark pockets of corners, objects you can't make out in the demonstrations. And the other demonstrations with the certified, the projector off the screen pulled up on a box. With the gray, well, I don't know what the surface was over top of it, but what was laying over top of it blended into that too. Now I'm curious, when they did that demonstration, why didn't they add in some everyday house paint in there? That would have been more interesting. If they had put some like some gray paint, some primer, something in that's gray to see the comparison of the certified screen versus everyday house paint. I would love to see it. But then again, it's a higher risk. If the house paint matches in there, there's going to be a problem at the end of the day, which means now you're looking at a $5,000 screen that literally wasn't able to overpower a paint that's going to cost the customer $8, $9, or $18. Too high of a risk. Oh well. At least I'm glad I don't have to worry about that stuff. $4K Snow screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
'Let me smooth this out because I got to paint on top of this too. And I don't want any ridges in my surface. All right, move that nice and smooth because I got to paint right back over top of that again. That is my screen that I've got there. Money for that plexiglass. Careful not to touch my screen because if I touch my screen with black paint, I'll destroy my screen, mess up to repaint it all over again. Well, not just that. Oh, yeah, I got paint right now. Not just that. I don't want to. I just paint that spot over again. That's basically about it. Black fabric. Now, I heard so much of the talk of that Home Depot dynasty that I bought some of it. Yeah, all this stuff. We buy everything that's black. I want the Lowe's. I got the darkest paint they had over there. Something over there called Black Magic. Darkest one they make over there. So here we've drawn on our screen with black paint. We've got the Dynasty black paint from Home Depot. We got Black Magic, the blackest paint they have over at Lowe's, and we got a strip of fabric. And over here, we've drawn directly onto the screen. This is why I said that our demonstrations are a match. Now, if I had made this a challenge today for someone to do the slip silver, the, what's it called? The Silver Mist 1619 on Bullseye Primer, bare silver screen, and some gray fabric, and throw it all up there on your screen in a fully lit environment. No red lights in the background, none of that. Fully lit environment. Same environment sitting at, they can't pass it. I realized that when we had the request 4 times in a row and 10 days later on slip silver. No one requested this from me. I just did this for the sake of doing it for fun. But when you have to request somebody to do something and it takes them that long to do it, especially when that product can be shipped in overnight and right at your front door, then that's a clear red flag that the product is house paint. White screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
You have to be able to back the product. Very important. Customers should be expecting for the person who they're purchasing from to have a tested guarantee product. I mean, this one we did a little different. When we did the Phantom we had it on the screen, we just drew into the screen, had some fun with it. This one, we basically did black paint already done, and the black fabric, and we painted into the screen. Red screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Interesting. Neon pink screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Neon yellow screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Let's see. Bum 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 bum. Fantasy snow screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
Isn't that interesting? A few minutes ago, she wouldn't grab that for Jack. So if anybody feels that I'm being too hard on these people, no. When you start taking money from people at the end of the day, transactions, when you are selling a product, you have to back the product. You have to do tests. And anyone sits there and says that, oh, we do some testing. No. It's not some testing. You have to do some really serious tests. Why do you think we get the canceled orders? Do you think anybody in their right mind is going to have a screen come down here when they have to go through this? This is a brutal test. Why do you think we have 18 canceled orders and $700 worth of canceled orders? Because they know what's going to happen when their stuff gets down here. It's going to get tested. Now, am I afraid to ship my stuff? No, I'm not afraid to ship my stuff at the end of the day. The problem I have is with people who basically don't respect the batch number or a test. See all this testing we're doing? All this testing? We do all this testing with all our products. And then we show off batch numbers. But then we got the same idiots at the end of the day will take the same product that went through all this testing that you just watched and then mess with it and say, hey, look, this is how it came out. This is why you don't win. You're not going to win the lawsuit. Simple and plain. All this testing we do. And if for some reason, when it ends up in the Bermuda Triangle of that apartment, it don't function, it doesn't work. But the customers came out in the same 5-gallon container as yours, works perfectly, no problem. And then he wants to ship the product back to my house for me to test a product that we just went through 3 hours of testing on in a batch number, a few batch numbers, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Part of it's working when you got it, and that's the end of the story. Now, the reason why I sent it back because, again, a waste of my time for something that I went through all this testing in batch numbers to make sure it was working perfectly fine before we shipped it out. So at this particular point, sorry if I don't respect your expert opinion, but you don't have any. That's just basic common sense. Everybody was sitting in the phone room laughing about that when I was talking about this. Say, hey, ship this stuff back to my house. He said, what for? You did all this testing. Yeah, that's what we do all this testing for. We test the product out, make sure it's working perfectly. Then after it passes all tests, we put up the batch numbers and we test it through the batch numbers and we ship it out again. So why in the world would you have to send a product back to me to tell me that, oh, this is how it came? Man, come on. I don't have time for that. I'm a very busy person. As you can see, all the testing I've had to do in the last couple of days. That's why we sent it back. I'm not bothered with that. I ain't going to waste my time with something I've already tested already and have batch numbers attached to it and have little customer demonstrations attached to it. So that's why, like I said, at the end of the day, these are people that, again, there's a screw loose somewhere upstairs because we go through all this testing that you watch me go through. Then after the screen finishes all the testing, then we strap the batch numbers and do more testing after the batch numbers to guarantee the product is working before we ship it out. And then we got jokers that'll come out of the same container as everybody else and they'll do something stupid like that. No, oh no, it happened like that. It came like that. My goodness. This is where we don't entertain them. And that's when they get a little stupid. And meanwhile, we're requesting tests that for some reason they can't seem to pass. It's house paint. That's house paint right there. That's house paint. That's house paint. That's fabric. You just can't match it. Basic test. The challenges we give them is the same, like the 160-inch screen challenge, which is the 150-inch screen challenge. That literally is a 150-inch screen that sits in my living room upstairs, actually one of the rooms upstairs, with a $60 projector sitting on it. And I get a 150-inch out of that screen. I can show snowstorms and beautiful meadows of flowers and lakes with tropical fish, and I can produce the universe and all that good stuff off of it. Of a $60 projector. That's something I do every day. That's actually just my setup upstairs. And we gave that as a challenge for someone to do, and they couldn't even do it. Because you can't produce a 150-inch of a gray screen, because again, that is 10 times more likely someone to make contact with the screen, which means the screen's going to wash out even faster. Basic challenges, nothing really hard. Swap a projector out for one solid year. Easy one. I got a 600 by 800 720p. It is now going into 8 months. 2 more months, I passed a solid year. The reason why they can't swap the projectors out, because like I said, it's the same theory about the woman and her favorite pair of shoes. They have to stay with that particular projector. They can have as many projectors as they want, but they'll stick with that particular one because that's the one that makes it shine. Yeah, it's not good. So to back up our products, because like I said, black paint is extremely hard and you have to do a lot of tests. Because at the end of the day, you're going to have somebody going to come up. It happens every time in conversations. What's the difference if I just get everyday black paint? What's the difference if I get black fabric? What if I use a black bed sheet? What if I do this? What if I do that? You have to be to show a difference, and a massive difference. Not a hiccup, not a little bump, none of that. You have to show a massive difference. And you have to do this in a fully lit environment while you're doing it. Because if not, they're just going to go out and buy black paint, black fabric, and do it themselves. And that's why the gray house paint products are very important. Because at the end of the day, since you have no testing, no batch numbers under your product, you have to have some way to guarantee your customers that you're not shipping them down everyday house paint. And for anybody who sits there and says, well, that's not true. Well, anybody who has the Cinemax, guess what you have at the end of the day? You got house paint. That's what you have. If you're going to sit there and honestly say, let's be honest here. If you're going to sit there and say, oh, that's no way that's going to happen. Well, anybody who has the Cinemax, guess what you have? You have house paint. Literally, you have it. If you don't believe me, go to the blacklist. You'll see it right there. You'll see several demonstrations under the Network Grade 773. And you will see the same individual in the video demonstration popping the top on the paint and his product matching perfectly. And then you'll see him delete the video off its account. The video go missing. If I punch in Network Grade 773, guess what pops up? Us. He used to pop up. 2 of his videos used to always pop up when we punch it in. They're gone now. So if you're going to sit there and say, oh, it'll never happen, I won't get house paint, you already have house paint from the door. Anyone who has, the only one we can make that statement on is the Cinemax. That's the only one. The rest of them we don't know because you didn't do the test yet. So we don't know whether or not those are going to match or not, but he's not going to do the test. And I can tell you right now why he's not going to do those tests, because I guarantee you when he got off camera, mind you, when he did this test, he didn't even know. He was walking into this, that's like walking into a minefield with magnetic boots. He really didn't know the outcome of it all, but we knew already from the door because, mind you, we did it first. And I sat there and said on camera, this is not going to go well. This is going to go extremely bad. And it did. So I'm pretty sure off camera, to keep from going through that nightmare again, he probably went in and tested the rest of his products to see how close they came to the Network Grade. And I'm pretty sure it was pretty bad. Because if he had beat those screens, he would have been right on YouTube justifying the entire thing. You know he would have. Anybody would have. Not just him, anybody would have done it. That's the reason why he didn't come back in with nothing else. He didn't speak of it. He doesn't talk about it. He did one demonstration with the Network Grade 773 and he removed the video. So all the videos we have on the blacklist involving Network Grade 773 are gone. He removed every last one of them. We had the copies. So I'm pretty sure off camera he did the test. And I'm pretty sure learning from that experience of coming on camera, and again, if he had a tested product, he would have known, he would have matched it. He wouldn't have done the demonstration to begin with, because he would have known he would have matched it if he'd done the test. But he didn't do any tests, so that's why he didn't know. Got caught with his pants down. So I'm pretty sure he bought the slip seal already. I believe he already got it. And I think he did the test offline and found that it matched. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, remember, the first time with the Network Grade 773, he got caught on a live stream. He couldn't get out of that situation. He was stuck there in front of the camera. What could he do? You think he want to go through that again? He never wants to go through that ever again. So to make sure he doesn't go through that ever again, I'm pretty sure he tested it off camera. Now, you can't come on there with the open container because that's not going to work, because that shows he might have tampered with the item. He has to come on there with a closed, sealed container. There's no way around that. So that's why when we asked him for the 4th time, actually the first time we asked him, when it got to the 2nd time, that's how I knew he probably did the test offline. Because anybody else, if somebody asked me right now, hey, can you do a demonstration with black paint? What do you want? What kind you want? What do you want to do? Like, no problem. That's not an issue for us to do. We've done it. We've done it millions of times. We've done it so many times. But if you're not sure what the outcome's going to be, or if you know the outcome, you're not going to do it. And you were able to go back in time and watch yourself as a stuntman jump the Grand Canyon and fail and be killed. You think you're going to do it in the present? Come back and go, nope, not doing that. Oh, no, I seen the outcome of that one. It was a nightmare. Didn't survive it at all. It died, man. Didn't even make it clear off the ramp. Tire popped before I even got off the ramp and just, yeah, you're not going to do that because you know the outcome of it all. That's why you're not going to do it. But in the end, what it comes down to is what people have to understand is that you have an untested product that was never tested to begin with. And because it was never tested to begin with, this is called a rush product. We see it happen in game systems all the time. You get a system got all these bugs in it. Mind you, they got beta testers at the end of the day to test all this stuff out. So there's no excuse for the machines to be acting up that way. But like I said, people want to make money and they figured, hey, who's going to find out and how high could the return policy be? How bad can it be? You know, a few here and there. Everybody knows around game day you're going to get a few bugs here and there. That's what happened with the red ring nonsense. If you went through that fiasco before, they knew. That's why they have beta testers to test all this stuff out. They figured they could get away with it. They didn't get away with it too well because it became the nightmare of the Xbox of the red rings. I'll tell you one thing, they had a heck of a loyal fan base because I was one of them. I must have bought 8 or 9 of those boxes. Still kept burning up. I still kept buying them. But that's the whole thing that comes down to that at the end of the day. If he had did proper testing on his products, or any of them, not just him, any of them, the ones we've seen so far, have done some proper testing on their products, when these things pop up, they would be able to pass with no problem. So for anyone who sits there and says, oh, I got 100% screen paint, how do you know? You don't have any tests. And anyone who sits there and has the Cinemax, guess what you have? You have house paint, literally. You just spent $90 for a product that you could have literally went into Sherwin-Williams and picked up off the shelf for much cheaper and walked off with a gallon. Now the bigger issue is, and the big issue is, now you got the slip silver, which is even worse because again, it's cheap. Go to Amazon, you can pick it up for like $17.03. Get a quart of it. So where are the test results to keep you from buying that product? You can't come on camera and say, hey, look, don't buy that product. It's not going to do the same thing. My product has quality. Talk is cheap. You got to back it up. The customer's just going to go buy elsewhere. That's why I say, gentlemen, where are your tests? Get it. I can never understand that. Why you don't want to do tests. I don't get it. I mean, don't you want to know for yourself what's the outcome going to be? Sometimes when I develop screen paints, I don't even get a chance to sleep because all I'm thinking about, what if we do this and what if we do that and what happens if we put that there? Or we do this and do that and what happens if we do this and that? I'm always curious to see how far I can push the limits on my technology and see what that screen can do at the end of the day. But some people at the end of the day are afraid to test because they're afraid of failure. Failure is actually good in testing because it allows you to fix things that need to be fixed. Well, people, we had fun with this. I'm doing this again. I'm going to paint right back over top of my screen and come back and draw on it again because I got some other demonstrations I want to do with it too also. But as you can see, it doesn't match any house paint in any way whatsoever. And then we got the Dynasty that's supposed to be our product at the end of the day. La-di-da, no, does not match our products. And we got some black fabric laying up there, and it doesn't match anything at all. So when we get ready to launch the Black Series, I think we might have a pre-order list. I got people already asking to put a pre-order in for it already, and we can't pre-order it because, again, there are 5 of these that have to be made, and once all 5 are done and tested, then we can start the paperwork. The paperwork is basically locking them in. And then once all the paperwork is completed, which is another 2 months from now, then they'll be ready to launch. But we're going to put a pre-order in. I'm pretty much may do a limited edition, like a really rare one. I mean, extremely rare, like something that's only available. 1 container is only available once a month. That's it. do something extremely rare. Because I want certain people want that bragging rights of having that something that nobody else can get their hands on. And we're going to make something really special, really, really crazy special. If we're doing that, it's not going to be a 48. It's going to be way beyond a 48. But it's going to be very hard to get your hands on one of them. Okay, well, that being said, hope you enjoyed the video demonstration. Had some fun painting in the screen and explaining a few things here and there. And like I said, you know, you the consumer, the customer, you need to ask questions. Ask questions. Ask us questions. We don't mind. You know what I mean? You got plenty of test demonstrations. We got more to go today. Got more tests to do today. So, yeah, ask questions. When you see these gray screen paint products being popped up there, ask about the slip silver. Ask about network grade 7. You want to see some side-by-side demonstration and make sure you know what you're getting. Mind you, this is an individual who has a policy set up to give you nothing back. No exchange, nothing. So if you're going to go down that road, you want to feel like going down, open up that Pandora's box, you better ask questions. A lot of them. All right, that being said, we're out of here. Hope you enjoy. Thank you all, and God bless. Ain't it on my screen? Ain't it